Welcome in. How are we doing, ladies and gentlemen? On the eve of 4th of July, we are here live with you in the Action Lab, live on Twitch. And you'll notice one thing new. You'll notice that there just happens to be someone sitting in Scotty's spot. We got my man LIONSDENII here. He is going to be joining us tonight in the Action Lab, and guys, you guys are in for a treat. He brings it each and every single time. And this is his, again, we're trying to get more people. You know, Scotty's got the Rockies going on, right? He doesn't have Rockies tonight. He's out living it up for 4th of July festivities. So with that being said, we'll let Scotty go do his thing while we bring in our boy LIONSDENII. You might remember him from Scotty's time on the NCAA March Madness stream that we did with the Twitch sports program. So yeah, they were battling back and forth, talking, you know, Kansas Jayhawks, and then North Carolina, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yes, sir.
There
Tar
we go.
Heel born, Tar Heel bred till I die.
That's
I'll
right.
be Tar Heel dead.
So welcome in, Mackie. What's up, football wife? How we doing? So, as people trickle in, I want to get, we're starting to get people to trickle in, and I want to, make sure they all hear, who you are and what you got going on. But thank you so much for joining the show tonight.
Hey, I appreciate you having me on, man. Appreciate you having me on.
LIONSDENII, let's go. Super stoked to see you on the Action Lab, says Mackie. There we go. See, you already got some fans, man. Maybe we need to keep you on here full time. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, I mean, like I told you, man. Yeah, I'm just a little Discord beep away.
Hey, football wife, thank you for the 7 months. Appreciate the love. Appreciate all of your support. By the way, guys, before we get into it, a couple ways you can support the channel here tonight. One is just being here, just chatting. That's like the biggest thing you could do to support our channel, is just to be just hanging out with us. And it's even better if you're jumping in the chat and talking sports with us here. So throw your thoughts out there. That's a huge, huge deal for us. Number 2. Oh, what's going on? 5 gifted. Thank you so much, Mackie, for all the gifted subs. Appreciate the love. Wow. There we go. Man, we're off to a hot start here. Another way you can support the channel here, guys, is just, hey, if you want to subscribe like Mackie did and gift out some subs, or like football wife is doing, hey, go ahead. You can link your Twitch and your Amazon Prime all together, and you can get all of those, fun emotes, everything else. It's free to do if you have Twitch and Amazon Prime. Who doesn't have Twitch and Amazon Prime? Man, Mac coming in big. Thank you for all the biddies. Thank you so much. Finally, last big thing is, hey, if you want to do bits and add a message to it, Mac, if you want to add a message to your things, they'll read loud on our show live here. So throw a little message. Mackie, stop it. You're being too generous, man. Stop it. Stop it, Mackie. Hey, much love, appreciate it. Hey, let's go.
Mackie's like, let's light this place up, man. Let's go.
Hey, we got a hype train, level 3 hype train going. Let's go. With that hype train, let's get you introduced, man. I already kind of gave you a little introduction, but hey, tell us who you are, tell us what you're all about. And oh, here we go.
Most underrated sports stream on Twitch.
Appreciate that, Mackie. Let's go. Hey, thank you for all the love. It means the world. And keep the hype train going if you want. We're already level 3. Let's get that hype train going. Choo choo. Do they go? How high does the levels go? Do you know?
5. I think you get to 5.
I don't think we've ever hit 5, but you guys can help us hit 5.
You hit 5, and then it starts the percentage, and that's what makes it so sweet. And you see the percentage, and you're just like, wow, this is amazing.
Yeah, no, 100%, man. It's we got to get there. Got to throw the hype out for Lions Den. See, it's not even about me. They're not even here for me. they're not even here for Chris. Or obviously, maybe they're here because Scott's not here too. Maybe it's a combination, but maybe you just need to take over the show, man.
I hate to do it to Scott, but I will. No, just
there we go. I'll give it to you. But no, like I said, tell everyone, what you're all about, how long you've been streaming, like just kind of a brief backstory, like what got you here.
Well, I had a close friend of mine that got me here on this platform. As you guys can see, I'm looking at the screen right now, and I can see all my gray hairs. I'm not a young guy by any means. I'm not a young guy. I may look it, but I'm not. So. For me, man, I've been doing this now for about 3 years. I didn't start out doing sports. That's the thing. Because if you look at any of my bios or anything like that, you'll notice that it says content creator /gamer. I've been playing video games for a long time. It started back NES days. Like when me and you discussed the other day, I told you video gaming for me was kind of not the norm like everybody else. Coming from a small town, moving to a big city where I am now in Charlotte, North Carolina, I kind of was more of the video game sports guy, where it was just basketball, football, mainly Madden and all those games like that. So coming from that small town, which from a high school, which rich tradition of football, which where I played at, ended up getting a state championship there. Sports has kind of been in my veins, and having cousins, my cousin Charlotte Smith, who played for North Carolina in 1994, last shot taker for the women's basketball team. It's kind of like all I know. It's so much around me, involving sports, from coaches to every different types of things, which I coach Pop Warner myself, going on to get ready to coach flag football with my son coming up this August. So I'm excited about that. But it's just something that's always been in me. So moving from the gaming side to the sports side on Twitch kind of was like my space, and also, with my father passing a couple years back now, that was me and his thing to talk sports all the time. So I just was like, what better way to do this than to just take what I know and a dream of mine and just put it right on the platform and see how it's taken. And I see now, people are noticing me and, taking it and just running with it. So I'm tremendously blessed, man, and humbled by everything that I've been able to accomplish just doing this on Twitch.
Hey man, it's good to have you here. It's good to have me. That's a hell of a story. You were telling me about your story offline, and I was just like blown away, man. I mean, that's the thing, man. Just coming in here and being able to just talk support, have fun talking sports, and you have a history of loving sports. I grew up loving sports myself. Obviously, that's why I went to college for it, and then even after this, it's been one of those things where this is a fun outlet. If I can't play sports or if I can't work in sports, I'm going to do something in sports. So, it's going to be a lot of fun to, chop it up with you tonight. We're going to have a lot to talk about. We're going to get into a lot of different things. Let me hit the chat here real quick. Mackie, love it, Lions Den. See, he's all about it, man. He's giving you all the love.
I see he said he liked the stream room too, man. The only thing about this one room, with where we are now, my kids getting older. Actually, they're turning 7 on 2. I have 2 twins, so they're turning 7 on Tuesday, and my son has already state claim to this. So I'm like, you can have the room, but you can't have everything that's in it. I'm taking that with me, but it's just a simple fact of I already got plans, to move out of this, and my wife, she's currently working at home. We have an office downstairs, so I'm gonna move in with her for a little bit, and then the garage turns into the stream room / man cave. So the new stuff coming, y'all get ready.
Ooh, I like it. I need to get myself a new streamer. I mean, I have a nice little room here. It's like a small office, and I mean, it works. It's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I would love to have a nice little open space and have a little bit more of a production, but hey, we'll get there too. Hey, I'm like with you. It'll come down the line. But it'll be worth it. You can, let's see, there you go. You can do it up just how you want it. That's exciting. Yeah, of course, Mackie. So you'll notice that I am rocking a little bit of USA here because we have kind of a big deal tomorrow, right? We got 4th of July tomorrow. And Independence Day, we got, happy birthday, Merca, right? And back in the day, Lions, I don't know, some of our viewers might know this, but when I was working in sports early on out of college, I worked at the Olympic Training Center as an intern for, a lot of the operational aspects of what they got going on there. I was lucky enough to work there for about a year, and it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. And one of the cool perks about it was, one, you get to meet all the athletes. I got to meet, a lot of sweet, a lot of cool people. I think all the Olympics, that was when, you had the big time swimmers who Michael Phelps, and then who was the guy he always competed against? I can't remember.
Oh God,
the guy that was always like in the news. And help me out in the chat. I forget his name.
He was in the news so much because he did so. I can't think of his name, and it's like on the tip of my tongue.
I can't help us in the chat. Like it started with an L. I know that.
Yeah,
Locky,
Leakley, something like that. It was something like it was. I remember that.
Yeah, and Ryan Lochte. There we go. Lochte.
Yeah, that's it.
So I got to meet Ryan Lochte. He came in with like camouflage cargo pants, looking like he looking like a bro, totally. And obviously it was really cool to meet a lot of those people. I played pool with John Orozco, an old Olympic gymnast. I don't know if you guys know that name, but one of the perks too was we got to raid the basement and grab some cool gear. And this was one of the official Olympic jackets of the 1988 Calgary Olympics that Team USA, it's got the patch and everything. Calgary, 1988. This is some cool retro stuff. So I bust this out every single 4th of July. I have to. I got to rock it.
That's a nice keepsake there, man. It's a nice keepsake.
But yeah, no, it's one of my favorites. I have a couple of them actually. My wife rocks it, once in a while too. She gets in on the 4th of July festivities. But no, man, yeah, it's 4th of July. What are your plans? What are your plans for 4th of July?
Well, this 4th of July, I am actually it's bad for me to even go on camera and live and have a recording of this, me saying this, because there's gonna be a lot of people that know me probably be like, wait, what? I'm not barbecuing. I'm not doing anything. I'm just gonna sit back. probably have a brewski or two and kick my feet up and then just enjoy some TV shows and things like that, man. It's just I don't know, this month in particular, it's wild for me because again, my kids were born on the 5th, so we celebrate their birthday. Usually we'll start on the 4th and go through the 5th, probably like that whole week. But this year is different because we're taking a huge family vacation at the end of the month, and that's kind of like a surprise to them. So I'm still like trying to keep things on the low, but I don't think it's gonna happen. I'm probably gonna give it up by the middle of the month. Like, yo, this is what you're doing. So.
Well, good, man. Yeah, I'm just gonna keep it low key over here at my house. I will be doing some barbecue, and I got the smoker out. And I know,
Ooh, what we smoking?
Oh, we're going simple this time. We're just getting some smoked wings out there we got the old Pit Boss. So we're gonna be getting those going, and then we also. I don't know.
Hold up. I'm out. Let's stop. Let's stop for a second. I'm gonna stop the show. I'm stopping the show.
Stop.
Now, see this is one thing you didn't know about me, Chris. I didn't really give you this. I'm considered a little bitty miniature pit master, and I call myself a little miniature pit master because I know it's a great amount of people that can do it better than me. But you said pit boss. Okay, let's talk. Which pit boss?
It's just, it's the off-brand of Traeger. So I mean, as far as like the actual thing goes, if you were to see like a normal Traeger, and just strip down all the Traeger logos and just put Pit Boss on it, and it's got like it's got like a little chef on the logo or something. I don't know, but that's what I got.
I'm talking about which one, which model.
Oh man, it's a good size. It's like the one that's like, it's got the whole pellet thing, and then it's got the fold up, and you could fit. Let's just say you could fit like 2 or 3 racks of ribs on it.
All right, so this is the reason why me and you connect, because you got a Pit Boss and I got a Pit Boss, but I got the ultimate Memphis. The one that does all 3.
Oh, okay, yeah, no, you got me. You got me.
So that's the reason why I didn't want to go on record and say I was not doing anything, because people are gonna be like, "What? You mean to tell me you're not pushing the Cadillac out and you're not doing so?" Hey, hands off this year.
Hey, fair enough. Fair enough. I haven't worked my way up to a brisket yet. I'm working my way up to a brisket soon enough. I got the pork shoulder down. We got the ribs down. We've got I've done the wings before, guys. I mean, it's 4th of July. If you're not, you gotta all your barbecue. You want to know one of the most underrated things to throw on your smoker, and we're gonna talk a little bit about this later. If you've never done Nathan's hot dogs, just throw them on there and leave them for about 20 minutes while you're smoking something else. I don't know what you're doing with your life, man. You need to throw those Nathan's hot dogs on there. It's got to be Nathan's, because those are the best hot dogs. However, the smokiness, I mean, they turn into beef sticks. You don't need buns. You don't need nothing. They're like those jerky sticks, but like juicy and smoked. Mm-hmm. Oh man, it's so good. I mean, it's good.
Talking my language. You're trying to, I see what you're trying to do. You're just trying to conjure up this thing and make me feel like, okay, tomorrow I'm going to get up at about 5 a.m., crank everything up. And then the next thing you know, my wife's looking for me. I got a nice cold brew out there, and I'm sitting, and the neighbors are just looking like, hey, what's going on? Yeah, it's time.
Oh, it's that time. Action barbecue. By the way, guys, we're going to, you know what we're going to do start come NFL season? We're going to start doing tailgate recipes, and we're going to throw those in the Discord. We're going to make sure that, all the recipes that I usually cook, that I love to, my home, my bacon wrapped jalapeno poppers, my smoked wings, all of that stuff, we're going to start throwing those out in the Discord come football season. And I want you guys to share your recipes as well, so that we could all, maybe I could start, maybe trying some of your recipes out on stream. We can have some fun with it. So guys, it's going to be a lot of fun. Football season's going to be big for us. I know it's big for Lions, so it's going to be big for us as well. Let's see. Sucks I have to work on the 4th of July, says Pierre. I know, Pierre. I mean, hey, but your boys, do the Nats play obviously at home on 4th of July, I would think. Pierre's our resident Washington fan here. Mac, you remember when you guys were talking Masters meals? Oh, the Masters meals. Oh man, the Masters golf. So how that works is every winner of the Masters gets to choose the menu for the next year's Masters. So depend. I mean, and there's been some like ones where it's like dogs and burgers, and then there's also ones that are like sushi and all like, and there's elk burgers, and like depending on who wins, they put their own flair and style on it. So, by the way, we love talking food on this stream.
I like it. Talking my language. I love it.
But yeah, so let's see. What else do we got here? You still have to come to Washington, D.C. for a football game. We'll make it out there. Maybe when do my Broncos play out there? When does that happen? I don't know. My daughter was born on the 4th of July, so I will be having family party cookout fireworks. Nice, football wife. Love it. By the way, throw out your plans. That sounds like a good plan, right?
Yeah.
Pretty basic.
I mean, that's great. That's great to have a whole party and all of that stuff. Like I said, we usually do it for our kids, but like this year, just taking it easy.
Well, let's go ahead. Yeah, no.
I know at the end of the month, like, I'll give you, I'm going to say it quietly. I'm going to give y'all a sneak peek on what we're doing. They're going on their first cruise ever. And it's not Disney. We're taking them to Coco Cay and we're taking them to Haiti. And it's a 7-day. They're going to lose their mind.
Ooh, man. There
they
you
got
go.
A beach trip the day before. So it's like, oh my God.
maybe I tag in on that, man. Maybe I just invite myself over to that.
Listen, come on, let's go. The more the merrier. I'm gonna tell you now, me and you, all we gotta do is grab a chair on the side of the ship and tell the person, listen, 2 Bahama Mama, strong as you can bring them. Let's go.
Never been on a cruise, man. So that'll be it. That'll be it. But let's dive in though. Let's go ahead. We got all the intros out of the way. You know how to support the channel, right? Subscriptions or just being here chatting or just, throwing out some bits with a message if you want to have your message thrown out there. There's so many ways you could do it, but here we are. Let's go ahead. Let's dive in. I like to warm up a little bit, get a little bit of little stories out of the way before we dive into some of our bigger ones. This will be a quick stream. We're only going a couple hours tonight, so we want to get you out to your fireworks shows if you got those or anything else. So let's go ahead and start out with USC, UCLA on the move. So we didn't catch you midweek, or we didn't catch some of these since our last show, and a lot's happened. Lions. I mean, this is a big deal, right? I mean, USC, UCLA on the move to the Big Ten. Big Ten, obviously. This kind of came out of nowhere. A lot of the Pac-12 was caught off guard with some of this, but I mean, there's a lot of things that go into this, right? Big Ten obviously gets a couple more quality teams. Where does this leave the Pac-12? Where does this, travel-wise? I mean, all of a sudden you have California teams in the Midwest, 6-hour flights back and forth. So, there's just all sorts of things happening. Mackie says big Pac-12 just became obsolete. I mean, well, now there's going to be shifting, right? Because, I mean, teams that are already in the Pac-12 see 2 of the top teams that, are typically some of the showcase highlight teams that people tune in to see jump in ship. So all of a sudden, maybe the Big 12 or the Big 12 with, the Longhorns and everything. I mean, all sorts of stuff happening here, man. Oregon next. What do you got?
This is kind of crazy right here, though, because I talked about this a little bit early in the week because, I do my own podcast as well called Sports Talk with Lion, by the way. If you guys wanted to check it out. I do it over on my channel. Try to get it in once a week. But we talked about this. And the main thing with this and what it's a good and a bad, right? So you get good as far as UCLA and USC moving to the Big Ten. That gives them the comp, right? So now you're going into the big house, you're going into the shoe and all of that. Now, what that does is you get recruits now that see that, and they know that being on that stage in the big in the shoe in Ohio State and in the big house in Michigan, you're definitely going to get some looks. Like they're those teams that are always mainstream. They're getting looked at 24/7. So they're gonna be kids just alone on that side in LA that's gonna say, I can go to this school and have a chance to go up against some of the top teams on the East Coast and the Midwest, all of that stuff. Like they're gonna love all of that. So that's the plus size for this for USC and UCLA moving right now. The bad side of it, you leave Oregon on the island by themselves with Pac-12. There's nobody else there. It's essentially dead. You can't take a team like Boise State, move them in there. They don't have the a big enough school for that type of environment. Yeah, you look at K-State, you look at Kansas, you look at all those schools. Arizona, it's not really gonna do anything for them. Like, so essentially what I feel like it's definitely a type of money grab move in a sense too, because again, you're moving to the Big Ten, right? You got kids that are getting NILs, right? You see that. You see these companies that's wanting to work with them. Now, once you start pulling in top recruits, you started pulling in big time recruits, those NIL deals are going to become more. So now that's going to help the schools. The schools are going to say, well, if they're working with American Airlines with something that they have, why come we can't move in and say, hey, listen, American Airlines, this is a student, let's work out a deal where we can charter flights for these particular schools. So now they're not on these planes flying commercial. They're flying first class in their own flights and their own planes going. So it's pluses and minuses all around the board. But what I see as far as like the football side of it, it's going to be a good thing for USC and UCLA, 100%.
Now, I mean, I'll get to whether or not you think they can compete in those conferences in the Big Ten, right? I mean, we'll touch on that in a second. But yeah, you mentioned it too. Oregon and Washington are two teams that I feel like have the clear incentive to try to find their way out, because those two programs have historically been, better programs out of the Pac-12. You have Utah and Colorado, who are kind of middle of the road. My boys here, the Buffs down in Boulder here. So, what do they do? Obviously they're kind of, trying to figure out a way to keep relevancy for their programs as well. Schools like San Diego State, Boise State, they're kind of, I don't know. I mean, they're not enough to keep the Pac-12 afloat. I mean, they're
right.
Those programs are just on the bottom end of everything. But
right.
I mean, it's going to be interesting. I mean, and we're talking about like potential. We've seen this kind of on the horizon, right? When some of the other teams from the Big 12 shifted over down to the SEC, right? And then all of a sudden you're like, all these other. We've had the rumors around for the longest time about Pac-12, about Mountain West, all these conferences trying to shift around to try to compete and stay in line with, some of the bigger conferences that are just hoarding big time programs. So it's going to be fascinating to see how we're headed towards super conferences. Realistically, that's just how it feels. But Mackie in the chat, LA is going to prosper without this NIL stuff. Oregon always has Nike, so they will thrive as well. Arizona's decent. They'll probably ship soon as well, says Mackie. Big 12 scraped up Houston and Tulane to replace Texas and Oklahoma. Yep. So it's like there's just a bunch of shifting, but going back to these two teams heading over to the Big Ten, can they compete?
If I had to choose, to be honest, and this is just me because I'm a huge Notre Dame fan. I'm all ND, so I kind of hate USC, but USC I can see will probably be the one that could compete better than UCLA. Just knowing UCLA's past and what they brought the past couple years, they've gotten better, but let's look at how many bowls and the top bowls that they've been to. It's not been many. USC is always the name. It was either USC and Oregon coming out of that Pac-12, and you would know the names. So them moving, like I said, doing this move, USC is probably going to be the first one to thrive. And then UCLA will come along. Because like I said, once these recruits start to see what stage they can play on, it's going to make the programs better. It's definitely going to make them better.
Yeah. So it's going to be interesting to see how this ends up playing out. I mean, it gives my Colorado Buffaloes a little bit of a chance to compete with, because they haven't had a really good shot. But I mean, supposedly they've had some nice little recruiting. They've had a couple recruits come their way. Our Mountain West Rammies out here, Colorado State Rammies, have had a couple people have mentioned that we've had a really nice run with getting some recruits there. But I mean, realistically, yeah, like the Big Ten, the SEC. We're going to have a lot of good competition across the board. ACC still, obviously has relevancy. Amanda Lorian, welcome in. Amanda Lorian is our resident West Coaster because she loves talking her West Coast sports, especially college. I'm surprised University of California Chancellor and Governor let UCLA go because they would have had taken Cal also, since it is a part of the University of California system. Yeah, I mean, it's... The dominoes haven't all fallen with this either. So, the minute this was announced, I think there was some shock too. The shock from the Pac-12, I think that they were kind of just caught off guard with all of this. It's not something that I feel like they saw coming, realistically.
But, I think what makes this stand out even more too, Chris, is how fast they were able to transition over. Because you got what was it, like Texas? They're not scheduled to be in their new conference until the year after. So them going for 2024, like that seems like they moved a little faster and they got this pushed along a little quicker than people thought. So I think this is what makes that stand out a lot more. Yeah,
100%. And another reason this move would be less disruptive than like moves to the ACC or other conferences like USC and UCLA have a grant of rights tied to the current Pac-12 television contract, which expires after 2023 too. Like the football season, it's kind of in line with that. That's why the expectation that both schools can go to the league for the 2024-25 season is not like a huge financial penalty either. So they're kind of manipulating this to make it so that they don't have a huge hit when it comes to the financial aspect of it. But, the financial pressures are being felt by the Pac-12. That's for sure. Similar to be like, it's going to be interesting to see how they come out of this. Amanda Lorian in the chat, the Pac-12 never appreciated the second largest media market in Los Angeles. Fair. That's fair.
Wow. Yeah, definitely fair.
I mean, again, going back, we recently saw Texas and Oklahoma go to the SEC. And, with those moves, it starts getting all of these others. I mean, then you got like wild cards. I mean, Notre Dame is kind of on their own, right? They're kind of, you got some.
Yeah. But I want to say it's Notre Dame, and this is me coming in from a fan standpoint, right? Notre Dame doesn't want to lose that NBC deal. They don't want to lose that. That's kind of the reason why they're taking a stance of we're just going to stand alone and we'll kind of like play into the ACC teams, but not really accept it, sort of speak. When which is crazy because if you look at it, the basketball team, they wear the ACC logo. Like they're already like fully in. It's just the football team is not willing to make that move because they're sitting here saying like, wait, hold up. We lose this NBC deal. Like this is nationally broadcast. Like we're on mainstream TV with this. Like I don't want to make fully committed to this and lose that. You got to think about that money is funding that university somehow. And if they don't want to lose that, but they're gonna, with everything and how everything is shifting, it's gonna definitely be something they're gonna have to look into. And if it was me, I think they need to just go ahead and commit to the ACC, to be honest.
And that's the big question. Big pick. How we doing?
Big
Welcome
pick.
in. First time chatter. Hey,
guy.
Thank you for first time into the Action Lab. Welcome in. Also, Notre Dame sucks. Hey.
He got to try to troll me right quick, but that's all right.
Welcome in. I mean, you could obviously tell me, but hey, who's your team and where are you from? Big pick. Like to get to know you a little bit. You know, just from you. I want to get to know you a little bit. Obviously, a lot of you folks are coming over from Lions Den chat. So, hey, introduce yourself and let's have some fun talking it up. We'll have a great time tonight. So thank you guys for all showing up and being a part of the stream. It means a lot. We're going to be doing a lot of this collaboration stuff. So, this is only the beginning.
Oh, yeah.
How y'all feeling tonight? We're feeling good, man. We're 4th of July tomorrow. We got a holiday. I got a 3-day weekend. You know, we have some barbecue and we got some family. We got some fireworks. We got all sorts of cool things going on. How about you, Big Pick? What do you got going on? What's your plans? And again, where are you from? Who's your team? Let's chat a little bit.
Yeah, he's a Louisiana guy, so I'm gonna think I think he's LSU. I think he's an LSU guy.
Okay, all right, nice. All right, well, welcome in, and it's gonna be a fun one this year. College football is gonna be great. Louisiana, so you know I'm with LSU. All right, okay.
I knew it.
There we go. Man, that SEC, it's always fun to watch those SEC matchups, man. They're just like, they're so good. But yeah, man, so again, back to this. We have it's going to be interesting to see how all of the chips fall when it comes to where the Pac-12 is going to be going, where, even smaller conferences trying to work into the Pac-12, what kind of teams you see, like maybe trying to work their way into bigger conferences. But then there's just so much shuffling, man. It's just like an endless shuffling, like musical chairs, realistically.
But this is good for college football in a sense, though. We really got to think of it like this. How long have we been watching the conferences as they are kind of go through what they've been going through? And it seems like the shift that was previously made went right into the SEC, because I don't know. I mean, and a lot of people going to be like, yo, you probably just hating, but I get tired of seeing Alabama and all these SEC teams in the last final draws of the games. Like, can we shift some stuff around and make these conferences stand out a little bit more and say, hey, listen, Big Ten making this move. I'm like Mackie said, Big Ten, SEC. I'm good with that. I'm good with that. I would love to see the Big Ten start being a powerhouse team.
Yeah, no, 100%. And I mean, typically you see, some of the recognizable names, Michigan and Ohio State. Obviously, Ohio State's going to be obviously been more relevant recently of, making a big wave to try to get in that Final Four, that playoff. But yeah, I mean, this really gives a challenge to a lot of those other teams that, hey, makes it more interesting. That's for sure. Right. Chairman of the board, welcome in. Scott is making too much sense tonight. Yes, sir. Hey, Scott, he knows what he's talking about once in a while, right?
Scott, if you're listening in, man, I'm sorry. If they kick you off the show, I'm sorry, man.
Hey, yeah. He's probably tuning in at some point. How about the team like Baylor joining the Pac-12? I don't know. I don't know if that's going to be necessarily. I mean, the big.
I don't think that does it for Baylor.
I don't think it does it. Well, because
that's not going to help the Pac-12 just all together. It's not going to help them. Like, when was the last time we really seen Baylor be relevant? Right? Was it RG3 quarterback? I mean, so.
It's been a minute, and here's the thing: like the Pac-12, the stock is down on the Pac-12. You're going to a conference that doesn't necessarily have. It's not trending in the upwards direction right now by any means. Right. So, from that standpoint, I don't know. I don't know how you work that around, and it's kind of a tough fit. I see where you're coming from, though, Amandalorian. I do. That would be an interesting one. That'd be an interesting one. Baylor, I'd rather Baylor ask.
I like that pick. I like it.
So a lot more to come with this. And this doesn't even account, by the way, this doesn't even account for how the basketball and all the other athletic NCAA, sports are going to they all have to figure this out too. So, it comes to, March Madness and everything else. All of a sudden you're looking at different types of matchups that you're looking at for UCLA and USC that changes a little bit too, because when I'm thinking about basketball, and obviously the Pac-12 has been pretty competitive recently, but it's kind of top heavy, right? You have unless you're Bill Walton and you think half the Pac-12 teams get into the tournament.
But the competition becomes more. The competition becomes more in a sense when we talk about basketball in this move, though, because you got to think about it like this way. Purdue has been thriving. Well, they last year they really surprised me in how they put together that team. And now you got a team like UCLA who's known to make it deep in the tournament, being in that particular conference. That's gonna push some buttons. That's gonna push some buttons when it comes to Big Ten conference, Big Ten tournament time, and who gets into the ACC tournament, and how many teams going into the tournament out of the Big Ten. So, again, competition wise, it's gonna push it on the basketball side of things. But like I said, with football, it's gonna be a struggle for a little bit.
Yeah, Big 12. Pac-12 and Big 12 are going to become Conference USA and MAC soon enough, says Mackie. Let's see what happens to the Rose Bowl. And Mackie says they'll be fine. I think the Rose Bowl will be fine. It'll just be watered down. It won't. I don't think it'll have the same weight that it typically does normally with some of the bigger teams that you look to see in that Rose Bowl. It's going to be weird too, because you're used to seeing teams like USC out there and UCLA and some. UCLA recently has had some, really solid and solid teams that, really solid talent, recruiting, everything else. So, missing out on some of those teams in the Rose will definitely affect it. But hey, again, like I said, maybe my Buffs can have a chance to get in there once in a while. Give us a chance a little bit. Big pick. I'm just teasing. Baylor is serious in basketball, men's and women's. Oh, Baylor's they're always stacked.
Yeah,
they always have to beat up on my Zags. It's really unfortunate. By the way, my wife went to Gonzaga, so otherwise I wouldn't be a Gonzaga fan. So now I just have to suffer.
Hey, you could wear that jersey last year though.
Oh, I have my Zags jersey, and it's just painful. It's painful every year, man, because they always have the highest expectations and they always just choke it away. Mandalorian, do you think that there are going to be more mega conference forming in the future? 100%. Like it's only gonna get worse. Eventually, it's gonna be maybe like what? You got the SEC, you got the ACC, you got the Big Ten, and then you maybe have one. Maybe there's just one big conference out west. I don't know how that looks, or how that. There's gonna be bigger it's on its way. If it's my prediction, it's on its way.
Right.
It's going to be either 2 or 3 mega conferences, in my opinion, says Mackie. Zags choke. Don't remind me, man. I'm over it. I'm over. Hey, March Madness is done. We're done talking about college basketball. But
now let me ask you this though, Chris. Since we're on this thing of mega conferences, now. Do you think since we're moving into that era of having mega conferences, this almost warrants for serious college football playoff style now?
Yeah, no, I think it makes sense to think about the trajectory of how you look at the playoff system with these mega conferences too. Like it's gonna like there's. I want to brainstorm all the different options. Like I have so many thoughts in my head of like where this could possibly go. And we've already talked about college, the expansion of like the current, it's bound to happen at some point with the Final Four playoff teams, but it's going to, it's going to expand. It will. And when it does, I think it's going to be closer to when those super conferences are starting to form a little bit more. Because, again, this is a domino that's going to change the trajectory of how the Pac-12 and how some of these smaller conferences look at how the alignment is currently to compete with the ACC, the Big Ten, and the SEC. Like, that's just, you have to, in order to be relevant, in order to have that stake and have the weight of your schedule and who you play, if you want to get into that playoff system, you have to be playing people. And if you're not playing people, it's not going to work.
Oh, yeah. Right.
Amanda
Right.
Laura. All right, she's got some chat going on there. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens here. By the way, guys, if you guys are here, hit that follow button if you have not already. And if you haven't gone over to Lion's Den, his channel, to give him a follow, do it, because he is absolutely incredible. He is our guest tonight. The link is in the chat. Go click on the link, go to his channel, hit him a follow, so that you can, whenever he's on, he's bringing it just as much as we do on the Action Lab. So make sure you guys jump in on that. But yeah, it's gonna be fascinating, man. I can't wait.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, this makes me even more and more excited for college football to get started. Because now, even like this year alone, I know the move is not until 2024, but I want to see how USC and UCLA reacts to this whole move. Like, do they finish out this last year top in the Pac-12? Like, do they go full speed ahead to really get the recruits' eyes and say, listen, come now, we're getting ready to make this move, make us stronger. We can get over here and we can take down the likelihoods of Michigan, Ohio State, and these teams like this. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. I'm definitely going to be keeping my eyes on them.
We'll have to have you back on for some college football talk. We're going to be doing a big college football breakdown going into the season. And I actually want to have a big panel for that. I want to have a lot of people jumping in, and we can have a good time previewing some college football. We're getting closer, guys. I think, what are we, 60-some days away from NFL season, and even a little closer to college football season. So we're getting there, and we're going to have a lot to bring you come this fall. So make sure you guys are tuning in. Make sure you hit that follow button here in the Action Lab and over at Lion's Den, because you're going to want to make sure you catch all the content leading up to all of the NFL and college football seasons.
Oh, yeah.
That UCLA Westward booster, his money is going to be start pouring the football program, says Amanda. Yeah, 100%. It's going to, and see, here's the other thing too. You mentioned it earlier, the NIL deals. Like we were talking a lot about the Manning kid going over to Texas, committing to Texas, Arch Manning, the nephew of Eli and Peyton, and what kind of NIL deal he got to go there. That's behind the scenes. Obviously, they love the coaching staff and everything along those lines going down to Texas. But I mean, he had offers from some of the biggest schools. And if you want to win a college football title, a national championship, you're going to those SEC teams. I feel like there's a combination of, like, one, the coaching staff. Sark is also a really good relationship with the Mannings, but also there's got to be an NIL deal behind the scenes that he is raking in some money. Arch Manning is. Ooh.
Yeah, 100%. It's something like that, because again, you got to think about this. Like, again, these kids, the deals and things that they're getting, the companies that they're getting. Like, I think, what was it, like a month or two ago, the point guard for UConn girls, she just etched a deal with not Skechers, Crocs. How many people in the world wear Crocs? That's big. That's huge. I mean, I know it's not Nike, but she got a Crocs deal. Like, it's some money. It's some stuff behind there. You know what I mean?
That's pretty damn good. On.
Yeah, like, I mean, it's this thing. It, like we said, we're gonna see these NIL start turning, and when they start to turn, you're gonna see these universities profiting from it, and you're just gonna be like, wow, the university got that. They got that, because again, bringing in recruits, you get those recruits, you still got to fund other programs. Now, if that recruit's coming in for football, you still got baseball, tennis, and all those other different avenues on the college campus that they got to try to work out to get the money to get those kids to come. So why not? Let's add some deals so we can get that money.
Chairman of the board makes a great point in the chat. College football as an amateur sport is dead. Yeah, well, at the same time, it's hard for me to say that athletes don't deserve this too. Like, I mean, again, colleges have preyed on athletes in college. I mean, how much money does college basketball, college football make off of video games and jerseys and your name and likeness? I mean, that's the whole thing. Name, image, and likeness, NIL. That's the whole point of like, these kids come in and, I think maybe this needs to be a bigger topic. Maybe this is like, I mean, it is. I studied this in college too when I was studying sports and legal stuff with everything and how corrupt college athletics is when it comes to taking advantage of what an athlete brings a program, right? You have a Vince Young or you have a, Reggie Bush at your program and people are coming to like, you're selling jerseys. I mean, you're making money off this kid and they're not seeing a single dime of it. I mean, they're let the kid make some money.
Right.
It's going to take away from some of the corruption, but I mean, there's always going to be corruption. College sports is like, there's corruption ingrained in college athletics. It's just, at least you're going about it in a more public feeling kind of way for the most part, I would think. But
right. And I mean, I've always been okay with it just because, I mean, again, I'm like you, kid, they deserve this stuff. Like, they're there, all of us has been to college. We know what it feels like to be a broke college kid. Like, come on, man. Like these guys and most of them, they can't even hold a job because they have practices and they gotta, do things like that.
Studies.
Yeah, and that's kind of crazy, but it's cool to give it to them, and I'm okay with it long as it doesn't bother the game. Now, when it starts to bother the game, when I got players out there that'll run out there on that field and they act like they can't hit nobody or touch nobody, I'm like, take his money away. Make him play for it. And then, you know what I'm saying? Now we're talking something big. But to answer this question in the chat, I know this is off subject. Amanda Lorian asked me, how much do you think the Yankees are going to offer Aaron Judge if they decide to sign him? Listen, Amanda Lorian, I'm going to tell you just like this. I don't care what they offer him. They just need to sign Aaron Judge, because if they don't sign him, y'all going to see me standing in front of Yankee Stadium. You're going to see me run across the field, and it's going to be like, oh, my God, Lions there. Yes, indeed, I'm there. And then I'll probably go and just, suplex Aaron Boone while I'm there, too. So, yeah.
There we go. Hey, no way we need to have a Subway Series stream, a Subway Series stream.
Oh, let's go.
Like you jump on for a live stream for the Mets Yankees.
Oh God, no! Not you too.
No, man. Rockies are my first and my home. That's my team. Mets are my number 2. What's funny is I tell this story. I've told it a couple times on stream, but the Mets have always had an interesting story for me, right? Mm-hmm. So my family lives out east on Long Island, and we would visit them once a year. We would always go to Mets games because we could never afford to go to Yankees games back in the day, right? So it was always a little bit more expensive to go to Yankees than Mets. So we would go visit my grandparents. We'd say, hey, who's in town? Usually it was the Mets. We would go to Shea Stadium in the old blue seats out there at Shea Stadium. And, I'd say 1 in 5 chances we out east, we would go to a Yankee game. And I loved going to the Yankee game. The neighbor kid from my grandparents' house was a big Yankees kid. And he got me a Tino Martinez jersey, gave it to me for free. He was like, hey, take this. You deserve it. He was like, welcome to the Yankees franchise. My grandpa was a big Yankees fan. And so it was just one of those things where it's like, I should have grown up being a Yankees fan, but going to all the games,
it's the only way.
Going to all the games, I was just like, we always went to Mets games. I did go to one Yankees game where I sat in the bleacher creatures in right field at the old Yankee Stadium, and I almost caught 2 home run balls by Bernie Williams back in the day. And that was when they had Bernie Williams, Tino Martinez, Derek Jeter, all those guys. It was like one of the best teams. Squad. Yeah, Mariano, all of those guys. It was old school, and I loved it. But I always just seemed to have that connection with the Mets. So I'll give it to you.
But how? Like, I don't understand the Mets. Like, what have they? Do they have? Listen,
they haven't done shit just like the Rockies.
Do they have 20? Do they have 27 titles?
Oh man,
is it 28? Number 28 loading.
You're gonna throw
right
the titles
now?
at me now.
Listen,
Okay.
I've already told everybody, listen, because I get so much crap. Everybody always comes into the streams, into the space, and they'll see me with my Yankee stuff on. They see the big Yankee symbol behind me, and they're just like, oh, you're going to be taking that down at the end of the year. I was like, listen, 28 loading. I said, when we win it, I said, I want the hat. I'm getting the hat with the big 28 right here. The big 28 on the shirt. I said, I'm going to have 28 just flashing across the screen. I was like, I'm sorry for everybody that's got flash warnings and all of that stuff. I said, I'm just let y'all know straight up. 28.
Hey, there's that success. And by the way, my grandfather would be rolling over in his grave if he knew that I said what I said about the Mets and the Yankees. Like, he would be literally like, he would disown me as a grandson probably. But that's just how it always plays out. There was one funny story though. And there's just something about New Yorkers that just like really, it just cracks me up, man. Because New Yorkers, when it comes to baseball, it's a whole new game. It's a whole different level, right? And I was going in, true story. I was walking into a Rockies Mets game, and I always wear Rockies gear when I go, but the Mets only have one series here in Colorado a year. So they come in, I rock my David Wright jersey. You know, I got my Mets. You know, I rock the Mets when they come in because I don't ever get a cheer for the Mets ever. So why not, right? By the way, Bobby Bonilla, big ups.
Yeah. Listen, every July 1st, he's getting paid.
Is there the sweetest deal in the history of life?
He's got 13 more years left to do that.
He got his million this year, says Mackie. By the way, Cubs versus White Sox, says Doofus. What's up, Boofus? How we doing? Astros fan, says Mackie. Chairman of the board. I thought you were talking about Detroit Lions football. Nope. We don't talk about irrelevant teams. Just kidding, Chairman. By the way, give Chairman a shout out. He's starting his own stream as well, so make sure you go give him some love. We always like to support our Action Lab Rats who want to get into the streaming world, so there you go. But walking into the Coors Field with my Mets gear on, and someone behind me yells, "Yo, Mets suck!" And without skipping a beat, some New York dude straight from Queens just throws out there without, like, a second later, he's like, so you hear the, "Yo, Mets suck," and you hear his, "Yo, so does your mother." And I'm like, oh, like,
classic.
Damn. It's like true New Yorker, straight up, like, doesn't skip a beat. It was fantastic. And
it's classic.
Like,
you gotta love it. You gotta love it.
And they're having a great season this year. They still have to get their top two starting pitchers back, and they'll be fine. But, you know, we'll get there. But Mets and Yankees doing some good things this year.
You know, I would love to see a Subway Series World Series.
That would be so much fun, man. That we would have to stream that every night, and we would go head to head. Let's do it.
That would be great.
Mandalorian, the Mets will always be known as that other baseball team in New York.
Exactly.
Roger.
Yes.
Yeah, 100%. Got that $1 million this year. I sidecasted the Braves game today. Brutal loss. Charlie Morton deserved better. Yeah. I didn't catch a lot of it, but I saw the outcome of it. Detroit Lions, where careers go to die. You're not wrong.
Yep. Absolutely correct.
Oof. Sorry, Detroit. Unless you're Matthew Stafford, LOL. Have you ever noticed that every NBA player now goes to Pistons to sign their retirement deal? Come on, man. Bruh.
Wow, not the Pistons. Don't do them like that.
Oh, man. Let's jump back into it, though. We got some more topics to cover, and that includes the NBA. We've had some, man, NBA has been... Is there... Let me ask you this, Lions. Is there a better off season with... There's not a better free agency off season than the NBA. There can't be, right?
I mean, at this point, no, because this is what. Like, I've just been sitting back and just watching like notifications and all this stuff just go. Like the first day, I was locked in, and then it started going so fast, and I was like, you know what? This is absolute overload. I gotta stop. I was like, I gotta stop. And then I just like, wait, I want to see how much money is given out. And I'm seeing all this money. And I'm like, oh my God. Like, this is crazy.
It's wild, man. It's wild. And all right. So there's a lot. We'll get to a lot of the moves and a lot of the things that have taken place. But the bigger thing I want to talk about here at this very moment is the rumors of what could be. Because right now, if you follow our social media, you saw, and if you're not living under a rock in general, you saw that Kevin Durant asked for a trade. And so that means, all right, Kyrie already opted in to his contract. So he's coming back and Kevin's already on the way out. So then what does that mean for that situation? It's just chaos going on in Brooklyn. That experiment is over. That thing's long gone. That thing's done. So with that being said, now there's all of a sudden some situations where the Lakers, first of all, how do the Lakers keep getting rewarded? Just by being the Lakers. Like they always are getting in the mix, regardless of their financial or cap situation or their absolute negligence of like how they try to build a team. They always somehow get bailed out by some level, but they're in the mix to get Kyrie Irving at this point. Some trades, they have to get somebody else involved because right now Westbrook at the moment makes he makes a little bit more than Kyrie does on his contract. So they got to balance out some of the money here. But you could see a situation realistically, Lions, that Kyrie could be reunited with LeBron after all the drama that they had after Cleveland, and like, you know, Kyrie left Cleveland to be his own man and try to do his own thing. But then I have so much to talk about. KD is a whole nother thing, how he thinks about life.
Absolutely.
What are your thoughts on all that? But and by the way, last thing I'll throw at you. Now there's rumors that Golden State could be interested in KD. That's been hitting the Twitterverse and the and I don't know who's putting that out. I don't know if it's the Warriors. I don't know if it's some media groups in different markets. What are your thoughts on all this, man?
Like, so here's the thing with me. Like, I'm still in shock and awe, like most of you guys. I'm just there because, I mean, it was Kyrie wanted to go, right? And then you had KD telling him, "Listen, Kyrie, hey man, we got to work this out. We wanted to come to Brooklyn to build and win championships. That's what we wanted to do." And then you wait right good until you say, "All right, cool, I'm here. I'm ready to go." I'm trying to figure out, okay, the only thing that I can think of is there some kind of underlying beef between them two that we don't know about, that they're not putting out there? That's the reason why KD wants out. But then again, we all know that ever since they tried to put KD, Harden, and Kyrie together, it didn't work. And then you bring in Ben Simmons, who hasn't touched the court. Brooklyn's a dead zone now. Is it becoming the same type of team as the New York Knicks? Like, you're just there to play in the city of New York? Like, I mean, let's be honest. But now we got these rumors that, you know, Kyrie is trying to maybe want to go to the Lakers to get together with LeBron. I still don't like it. Like, for me, I don't like things like that, because at the end of the day, yeah, they won the championship in Cleveland. I get that. But it's just like the Lakers are trying to build this team. Well, first and foremost, let me say this. Everybody is not Michael Jordan. Everybody can't say what they want and what they need. And honestly, it works for them. I get it. I like LeBron as a humanitarian and things he does outside of basketball. But him telling the bus, "Hey, listen, get this guy. He's tried that 2 seasons now.
He's not the best GM.
Why are we still listening to this guy? Like, come on, man. Like, I just don't understand having 3 or 4 players on a team, on a basketball team, that want to give you 35, 12, and 10 each night. That doesn't equate to wins. So why are we still pushing? Yeah, Kyrie, definitely. I mean, I'm not giving y'all the truthness, because again, you got to understand, I'm a Carolina guy. I hate Duke basketball players. It's straight up to it. I don't like anything about him. He's a Duke guy. I can't give him any kind of props.
Okay.
But at this point, he needs to stay where he's at and play basketball. All I've seen from Kyrie this past season was talking about what the COVID vaccine was and this and that and the third. I haven't seen you do anything. Maybe if you were there when they started, we probably wouldn't be here where we are now. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just trying to understand, like, okay, now we got all these all-season moves, and you are trade rumor with trying to go to the Lakers. KD want to go. KD, listen, this is my honest opinion about KD, y'all.
I want to hear it.
They need to take KD. KD's a hooper. He is. The man's got clips playing basketball in socks. Like I don't know, but they need to send KD back to OKC. Make him go back where he started. Humble him. You have a ring, KD. What, he got 2, right? Send him back. Send him back. If you want to chase championships just like that, send him back to OKC. Then see what he talks about.
Where he'll actually be a leader of his own team?
Absolutely.
I mean, here that's the biggest thing for me. That's the biggest thing that really strikes me after all of this, right? Like, it's hard to defend KD at this point. I've heard this take a couple times, and I'm with it. But like, I agree with what people are saying about how the fact that his legacy is starting to come into question. I mean, you think about his leadership. If he's a follower or a leader, well, he's definitely not a leader, right? Because if he was a leader, he would say, all right, you know what? We got to figure this out. Kyrie's coming back this season in Brooklyn. Kyrie, you and me, let's get this team together. Let's work this out. Let's lead this team. We're still in the mix in the Eastern Conference. We still have a chance to do something big. Let's make something happen here. That didn't happen. The minute they didn't pay his boy, Kyrie, the minute they didn't extend his contract or didn't give him anything that KD thought he should deserve, he's like, jumping ship. Oh no, this isn't for me. I'm gonna go somewhere where the pastures are greener. Like, all right. Well, now you look at his record. All right, he's skipped town on a couple teams now, and he's been like, you know what? I'm gonna go where the pastures are greener. How has that worked out for you? Because you've been trying to be the number one guy on your team.
Absolutely.
And how has each of those stops fared for you? You know what I'm saying? Like, the icing on the cake here was the fact that you had a guy, Steph Curry, not just a guy, a legend already. Steph Curry, who won before you, won with you, and won after you.
Right.
So with that being said, this looks even worse on him now that he's not trying. Like, he's not a leader. He's not a team guy that can just lead a team. He's not in that realm of Jordan, Curry, where they don't have to have, you know, certain things in place to succeed. They just succeed with who they got with them, how the team puts the players around them. It's just so fascinating. Like, his legacy, he needs to go somewhere where he's the guy, and the minute he joins another super team, it doesn't help him. He's in a bad spot.
Absolutely. And that's one thing that I've been saying is that, you know, these teams are trying to put all of these guys together. I get it. They want to win chip, and it's all about the big threes now. That's just the way it is. That's the way the league is. That's the route that the league is going. But if you really sit back and you take a look at Golden State and how they're set up, they're full of role players. They're full of guys that know their role on the team. I mean, come on. You got Andre Iguodala still on the squad. He knows when he comes into the game what his purpose is. Klay Thompson knows what his purpose is. I mean, Draymond, biggest shit talker it is, but he knows his purpose. I mean, that's what helps them win. And that's the same deal. Like I had a conversation with some guys and they were saying, if you take this Golden State team now and you take the Bulls from back in the day, who do you think will win? I told them straight up even, because Jordan was around a bunch of role players. He was the star of the team, but he was around a bunch of guys who knew what to do when he passed them the ball. They knew what to do in certain game situations and things like that. That's how Golden State set up.
We got Mandalorian Lakers in the roster full of washed up players last season. LeBron's friends. LeBron's not the best GM. He hasn't put together a good team. And
no,
we knew this. We knew this. First of all, AD doesn't. You know what you're getting with AD. He's playing maybe half the games max of the regular season. He's glass. Right. He's not going to, like, you know what you're getting. You saw that. You knew what you were getting when he was in New Orleans. And then he puts together Russell Westbrook. He had him over DeMar DeRozan, who that was an option that he could have gone. Do I think that would have been a big difference? Not necessarily. Do I think that he would have been a better fit? Slightly better fit for what they had going in LA. But Scotty and I both had the fact that everyone is crowning the Lakers as a top 3 team in the West. We said we overvalued the Lakers and putting them in the play-in game. They didn't even make the play-in game.
Right.
So Lakers, regardless, if they make the trade for Kyrie, I still think they're a mid-level team in the West at best. I don't think that gets them over the hump to be a top tier echelon, top 3 team in the Western Conference. It's not there yet. I don't think, maybe depending on the pieces they get around, but the Lakers don't have the luxury of making a bunch of moves because they don't have a lot of wiggle room.
Right.
Based off of their previous moves. So it'll be interesting. But let's see. NBA players are a bunch of prima donnas. Well, and that's another thing too. When only in the NBA do you see players who are like, you know what? I don't like my situation. I got 4 years left on my contract that I signed like a little bit ago. Right. I just want to request a trade. I just want out. Like, come on, man.
Or we're 30 games in the season. You know what? I need a 2-game break, man. You know, my body's killing me.
It's ridiculous. Unreal. Chairman. Okay, now let's give Detroit some love. When the Pistons won their last championship, although nearly 20 years ago, it was a true team win. No superstars, no big 3. Yeah, that's true. And by the way, Chairman, I like how the Detroit is coming back, building some out of the draft and making some moves. I love what Detroit's doing. So, Chairman, big ups to your Detroit Pistons. I like the trajectory.
But to piggyback off what Chairman is saying, though, with that team, with that Pistons team, look at Memphis now. Look at Memphis and how they're set up. They're kind of just like that. And that's why I like the Memphis team. They're going to win the championship before it's all said and done.
Before my Nuggets?
Yes.
Come on, man.
Bruh.
Come on.
Yes, they will.
Oh, my goodness. No.
You're not going to be able to get anybody now. You gave Jokic all the money.
Hey, but we got a nice little squad go. We got some defense now. So we're going to defend the 3 a little bit better than we ever have because we never have been able to. Right. By the way, the starting lineup of the Nuggets might be one of the best starting 5s. I'm telling you, they're going to be looking good. Throw KCP in there now. KCP, D and 3 kind of guy. I mean, he can score a little bit. He's a little older, but whatever. I mean, he's better than what we had defensively and offensively all together in one role player. I don't know. And then the Bruce Brown signing. We're going to get into free agency here in a second, so I'll touch on that. But the Bruce Brown, that's all-star. Mm-hmm. He's not an all. I'm just saying, like, that's like, for me, that's a sexy pickup because Jokic is going to get that guy paid, whether it's with us or somebody else. Jokic will get that boy paid. So just throwing that out there. In the end, what team does KD end up with? So, first of all, the biggest names that we've heard is Miami and Phoenix. Now, Phoenix wants him, and he's mentioned Phoenix and Miami are his top two kind of wish list teams. Phoenix can't make it happen easily. They have some challenges with how they're trying to put together packages. So they got to work things around a little bit. They just can't trade. There's like some nuances with that. I don't want to get too like nerd with this, but it's not as easy. Miami, they have some options, but again, they still have to work some things around. Most likely it's going to take a 3-team deal in any respect that I've seen recently, with some other teams' draft picks and trading around. It's probably going to have to be a 3-team deal, especially if it's going to be to Phoenix. So they're trying to bring in like a OKC and try to work in some draft picks, because OKC has 1 million draft picks between now and 3 years from now. So, they can make some moves and make some changes to their roster as well. So it'll be interesting, but those are the two big ones. I can see, Portland has their argument of trying to get KD, and there's a couple other teams. I think it's going to come down between Miami and Phoenix. Those two teams. Utah's doing some weird things. I don't think he goes to Utah. I don't think he okays Utah to play with Donovan Mitchell.
I don't think he does either. But in the end, though, I really think that he's going to end up staying in Brooklyn, because you got to think of it this way too. You got to think about how much a team is going to have to give up to get one player. And if that team has to give up a lot, it's going to deplete that team.
You see what Rudy Gobert got?
Right. And that's what I'm saying. But I don't understand that, which I hope we're going to talk about.
We will talk about that.
That's absolutely insane. But I don't know. I'm gonna tell you one thing for sure.
What is the five?
I hope it ain't my mind. If we do, I'm crying. Crying. I don't want him there. I don't. Just
you don't want him where?
I don't want him in Miami. I don't want him. No. Take it. Phoenix can have him. They can. I could see Phoenix sending Chris Paul to Brooklyn, because Chris Paul's. I think he's done out there, but if he goes out in Phoenix, that disrupts their team, because Devin Booker needs to be that guy. He needs to be the guy who's touching the ball and scoring the points and dishing it out to everybody else, not KD. Not coming down the court, giving the ball to KD and then going from there. No.
Because DeAndre Ayton is in the mix for like trying to ship. He gone.
Yeah.
He ain't gonna be there. So it's interesting to see where he's gonna end up. But KD, man, I just, his legacy, it's really in question at this point. And
it really
I'm
is.
not taking away the legacy of him being a pure basketball player, because pure basketball, he's one of the best players in the world. I truly believe he's one of the best players in the world. When it comes to team basketball and him fitting in and being a role player or just a leader on a team, that ship is sailing for me, and it's sailing pretty quick.
Come on, man.
Since Orlando Lauren. How old is Chris Paul? He's 100, right?
Yeah.
He's
up there.
He's a dinosaur. I think he's like in his late 30s at this point. What else?
Chris Paul is that old guy that you see on the basketball court just hooping, and you're like, yo, you want to run with us? And he's like, yeah, I run with y'all. And then everybody else is out there, they doing the crossovers, the 2-step moves and all of that, the Euro steps. And Chris Paul's just like, I'm big fundamental. Let me just shoot it off the backboard, all of that stuff. That's the kind of guy he really is right now.
Oh, yeah, 100%. What else do we got here? Memphis is younger, healthier, says Mackie. He's on the Memphis bandwagon. John Moran is a dog. Yeah, he's a baller, man. He's so good. Let's see. Really looks good regular season. Second round, other playoffs comes around. And yeah, Pierre. Well, my Wizards can't forget about free. So your Wizards are doing some weird, like they're fine. I think they have a good team. I'm not gonna lie. But why you got to slap me like that, Pierre? Come on, man. Don't be slapping me like that. How come I didn't get VIP? we're still evaluating VIPs. And you know what? VIPs, I'm telling you, the longer you hang around, the more you stick around, it's coming your way. Don't worry. Don't worry, Pierre. You've been around for a little bit. I got you. I hate the Rudy Gobert. Rudy Gobert got some dumb stuff. Rudy. All right. Should we shift? Should we shift over a little bit? Because realistically, let's just talk about some of the moves. And I'm gonna rattle off some.
What did the 5 fingers say to the face?
Come on, Pierre.
What? Slap.
Let's dive into some of the free agency updates here throughout the course of the league, because there's a lot of movement. Again, this is, NBA free agency is so good. Goran Dragic goes with the Bulls, 1-year contract with the Chicago Bulls. So I think the Bulls really have a good shot. I mean, the Bulls are starting to build out a nice little squad there, nice little veteran squad that fits in. You got a lot of good pieces. Their starting lineup was already good, but now they're starting to get some depth. So I like that. Ooh, another one here, Lions. I want to get your opinion on this one. Zion Williamson. So Zion, my boy Zion out there in New Orleans. And it was all this talk about Zion being like wanting out, which I 100% bought into. I bought into the fact that he wanted nothing to do with New Orleans. Signs a 5-year, $193 million max rookie extension with the New Orleans Pelicans. Williamson averaged 25 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists during his first 2 NBA seasons, and he missed all of last season with that foot injury. Zion. That team, I'm not going to lie, that team is looking decent. I mean, what they did last year, first of all, getting to the playoffs, but then if Zion can play, actually, he looks ripped coming in. I mean, I've been seeing some of the pictures. What do you got on Zion, man?
Listen. Don't be fooled, okay? America, don't be fooled.
Don't be fooled with Zion.
Don't be fooled. This is not something that you think is gonna be a positive, okay?
No.
Again, I'm just gonna go ahead and give this disclaimer. I am a Carolina guy. I don't like anything about a Duke basketball player.
I know.
Especially this guy. But at the same time, I think the Pelicans got it wrong. Because at the end of the day,
okay,
how are you gonna pay this guy $231 million? Like, how are you gonna pay a guy who basically told you, I'm gonna eat what I want to eat, I'm gonna do what I want to do, and if I can't touch the court, you'll be fine? You had to go get CJ McCullough to lift the team. That what they just done had nothing to do with Zion. So why are we giving Zion $231 million? I'm trying to figure this out.
I mean, it's a lot. Hey, Mo Buckets, what's up, buddy? How we doing, my friend? Hey, welcome in, Mo. It's been a while. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Hey, can I give a shout out to Mo Buckets real quick? Mo Buckets, if you haven't checked him out, he is absolutely incredible. He has a great stream out there, and he does a lot of NBA 2K. But he's been on the show before. He's a friend of the Action Lab Rat family. He could talk some NBA. He could hoop it up. So go give a quick follow. The link is in the chat right now. Mo Buckets, welcome in, my friend. How we doing tonight? CJP, didn't AD do the exact same thing? AD, yeah, but AD.
Zion is not it. He's not it. I mean, yeah, I've seen the videos and he looks good. I mean, granted, the videos that we're seeing surface right now, I mean, he's playing against some high school kids. I want to see you in an 82 game season. I want to see you on the court. Listen, I want to see you get past 20 games and say, I feel great. I'm ready to ball. not get to 25 games and be like, you know what, my knee's gonna be bothering me. I'll see y'all close to the playoffs.
Mackey, does he look good? He looks good. He looks good now. He did the James Harden transformation. All of a sudden he looked good, but I question his character, man. I question the character and hey, welcome in Cuban Benny, by the way. Cuban Benny is our resident, Denver guy. He hates his MPJ. He hates Michael Porter Jr., but he loves his, sorry, I hate to bring it up. He loves his Will Barton, who just got shipped out. So, sorry, Cuban. Who's going to win the Facu sweepstakes? Nobody's winning Facu sweepstakes. Zion Simmons Porter Jr. is not the truth. Yeah. No, I love that. Oh, he links them all together, man. It's so funny, man. It's just how he does it. Mo Buckets, love you guys. Hope you can invite me again. Oh, Mo Buckets, we'll get you back in the lab. Don't worry. We're gonna have an NBA, big NBA stream. We're gonna have a good one. 100%. You'll be a part of it. I can't wait. He could dunk on some kids though. Yeah, he does all these. See, here's the thing. Like, he's doing the dunking. He's doing all this stuff. He's ready to go. Obviously, we've seen this with Ben Simmons. We've seen this with Jamal Murray here locally in Denver, and Michael Porter Jr. obviously has some things going on with his back, but he sat out a little bit extra. Like, we talked a lot about this, Lions, on the stream a while back, and about, like, first of all, we talked a lot about a while back, but most recently on the last stream, we were saying the Avalanche just won the championship, and we had a guy that had broken sternum. We had a guy that had a broken finger and a broken leg. Right. We had a guy that had a broken rib, and like they played through it. And it was like, are hockey guys the toughest guys outside of rugby in any sport? And it's like, probably. But you look at Ben Simmons and you look at Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr. and some of these guys that mentally can't get back into playing. And I'm just like, come on, man. Kobe played with a torn Achilles and shot free throws. Jordan played through a sick game.
Right.
Oh, man.
This is and this is the stuff, and this is the problem. This is why I say he's not it. This guy, I'm just listen. Zion is basking in the glory of just being in Louisiana right now, having his gumbo on Sundays, eating his gator tails on Wednesdays, and eating God knows jambalaya and everything else they got down there. Zion probably got a special seat at what's my chef Emerald Lagasse's restaurant there. He's probably got a special table that they set him down. They already know his order. That's how crazy it is. And you just can't sit and tell me that a guy who is battling with his weight and battling getting out on the court and staying healthy is worth $231 million. We have to really sit and think about it, because that even, like, I put Zion in the same shoes as Glenn Big Baby Davis. He did the same thing. He battled with his weight. So when you have that weight battle like that and you can't get out there on the court, that's a problem. So they need to just take a look and be like, listen, man, we're going to move forward, move away from you. Now that's one player that they could ship off and get some good pieces for, because the team will probably take him, but me giving him that much money? Nah.
Well, he's been mentioned in these trade talks with Kevin Durant. He's been mentioned. There's been rumors. So the rumor mill keeps rolling. But look at this lineup for the New Orleans Pelicans, though. If he stays and he plays all season long, and I say this about Michael Porter Jr. too, if he plays all season long, what could be? You got CJ McCollum, Brandon Ingram, Herbert Jones. Herbert Jones is a stud rookie that came into the league. He's going to be crushing his sophomore year. So McCollum, Ingram, Jones, Zion Williamson, and Jonas Valanciunas at the center. That's one of the better starting lineups, in my opinion, in the Western Conference, that I think could do a lot. And I mean, you got Jackson Hayes and Devontae Graham, a couple guys on the bench coming off. I think he could. They could. That's an interesting team, 100%. CJP in the chat. LeBron is top 2 and not 2 in his 20th season. By the way, CJ, remind me of your team. I can't remember who your boys are. I always forget who your boys are. But yeah, just I'd like to know. Mackie, top 2 seeds in the playing game. Hi-yo. A Mandalorian. Zion reminds me of Robert Trailer, who also battled with weight and was overhyped. True.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
That's
Sean Kemp too. it says
Sean Kemp too.
Cuban Betty, man, he always brings it, man. I'm telling you. So there you have it. So yeah, Zion, that's an interesting thing of what could happen with, him in New Orleans. Let's go down the list a little bit more here, though, because I like to get to check on some of these. Detroit Pistons. Hey, shout out to chairman of the board. You get Buddy Boeheim, baby Boeheim. That's right, CJP. Nuggets, Broncos, Angels. Love it. All right, so yeah, our Nuggets are gonna win it all next year. By the way, just saying.
I'm gonna leave that alone, Chris.
Don't say nothing. Cleveland Cavaliers all-star Darius Garland has agreed to a 5-year, $193 million designated rookie contract. Darius Garland's nice, though. He's nice. I think that's Cleveland's building a nice little core there. I think that they can compete here soon in the East. And I mean, the Eastern Conference still, just when we thought the Eastern Conference was coming back, all of a sudden it's like starts to get back to that average. You got Brooklyn that's falling off. Brooklyn's not going to be relevant anymore. Mm-hmm. The New York Knicks made that quick run, and all of a sudden they fell off. I think Atlanta takes a step up after the moves that they've been making, so they're interesting. But still, you got Boston up there. You got Milwaukee going to come back. They're going to be making a run for sure because they're just stacked. You got, but all right, let's get to it. The Utah Jazz. All right, Rudy Gobert.
No.
Let me break this down.
No.
So, by the way, I don't know if you've seen like the Twitterverse where Brian Windhorst is like taking over the world on ESPN just by his like dramatic, like his that way he presents some of the things that have been happening in free agency. And he was like, Royce O'Neal just got traded. No one's talking about it, but it's a big deal. It's really strange. And he was like, something's happening in Utah. Everyone in the NBA, the executives, are looking at what's happening in Utah and what's happening. And this was pre-Gobert. So he was onto something here when he was like saying all this stuff. And sure enough, they just unload everything here. And Utah Jazz trade center Rudy Gobert to the Timberwolves. Timberwolves send Malik Beasley, Patrick Beverley, Walker Kessler, Jared Vanderbilt, Leandro Balmaro, and how many? How many first round picks?
Is it the first? Is
23,
first
25, 27, and a top 5 protected pick in 2029. 4 first round picks for a guy that plays one position. He plays defense mainly. Number one. Listen. And number 2, if this was the 90s, I could say yes, that's a great trade. Like if this was like back in the centers posting up and that was how you scored, Tim Duncan's and Kevin Garnett's and Shaq's, and when you posted up back in the day, this is 90s basketball, 80s, 90s, maybe early 2000s. You trade all this for Rudy Gobert. Not today. What are your thoughts on this?
He's not worth Pat Bev trade at all. I'm sorry. I'm giving up Pat Bev for Rudy Gobert. No shot. I don't care if he does play defense. I want Pat Bev on my team. Pat Bev is a defensive disruptor. Like he cuts up, man. Like I love it. But Rudy Gobert, I get what the Timberwolves trying to do. I do. I get it. They want to get 2 big men and down low and work the paint. But you're in an era now of basketball where you have to stretch the floor. Yeah, Big Cat can he's kind of like a stretch 4, stretch 5. But at the same time, you're gonna run big on a court where most of the teams are running kind of small. So they're gonna run you off the court, getting back on defense and doing all that stuff. They're gonna tire them big guys down. I mean, but to give up all that you gave up for Rudy Gobert, you could have had a chance to, build on that in the upcoming years. I mean, let's be for real. You got teams like my Tar Heels who got all their players back, except for what? Manic is the only one coming back. You got players coming out of this. You got players that are still signing there that are day one, 1 day player. I mean, 1 year players in college basketball is going to be coming out. I would never give up that many first round pick for Rudy Gobert.
Rudy Gobert. And that's the thing that's just like blows my mind. I'm like, other athletes in other sports are like, man, these guys get paid or they're overvalued. You want to look overvalued? Look at Rudy Gobert, and it's just out of control what he. I mean, the Timberwolves got absolutely fleeced in this one. The Jazz won this trade by far outright. By the way, Malik Beasley and Jared Vanderbilt are two guys from Denver that we loved. Vanderbilt maybe not as much. I mean, he didn't play as much. Malik Beasley is a talent, man. He can play, and he's a nice little role player in the right system. You can't. They gave up way too much. 100%. And what Utah's trying to do right now is just build everything around Donovan Mitchell. They're doing everything they can to build around Donovan Mitchell, and you're starting from scratch. They're accumulating picks and everything else, but how long can he be around to wait in the Western Conference? That it's like a tougher conference. That's interesting for sure. Durant, welcome in, Durant. How you doing? How's your 4th of July weekend going? How's all of your 4th of July weekends going? Who's Russ going to be playing for? Russ, if they're sending
Russ to the Pistons, he's going to be out there by himself.
Ooh, hey. Oh man. If he's out in the Pistons, chairman, if you're still here, you're welcome. You're welcome.
Man.
Cuban Tim Connolly knows that Gobert is the only post defender who can legit shut down every single player in the entire league. He did it by licking microphones, but still. Yeah. Right. He's defensive player of the year back when the COVID years were happening because he shut down the entire. I mean, there's nobody who shut down the league better than him.
Right. Panic. Just ran.
Oh, 100%. Let's see what else do we got here. All right, so let's go back down the list here with some of the other free agent moves and some of the other action going along in the NBA movement. By the way, guys, if you're here, hit that follow button if you have not already for either here at the Action Lab or give LIONSDENII some love because he deserves it as well. He is here as a guest in the Action Lab, and he is absolutely just crushing on our stream, on his stream. Each and every time he brings the sports content to you big. So make sure you go give him some love. He's got a podcast. He's got everything going on. So don't forget to check him out here. And I will be posting his, there you go, right there in the chat. There's his Twitch link. So go give him a follow. So make sure you do that. Down the line, Kayvon Looney, another 3-year deal to return to Golden State.
Smart move.
Yep. Balika, I always bad. By the way, I'm notoriously bad with names. You should hear us during hockey broadcasts. Oh, it's bad. He's informed the Golden State Warriors he's leaving the NBA to return to Turkey, so they're down a little bit of depth there, but he probably wasn't going to get re-signed with them anyway.
Hey, he got his ring in love.
There you go. Oh, here we go. What do we got here?
67 days till NFL starts.
Football wife's her Bengals. She loves her Bengals, and she can't wait for NFL season to start. And obviously, we're going to be big in the NFL. Thank you so much for the bits, football wife. Appreciate the love. We will be covering a lot of football moving forward, 100%, because we're getting closer and closer. We're going to get training camp started up here soon. We're going to get all of the details of rosters and just everything broken down for you guys here soon. So don't go anywhere. Let's see. What else do we got here? Indiana Pacers. Malcolm Brogdon going to the Celtics for Dan Tice, Aaron Naismith, and a 2023 first round pick. So there's a nice move for the Celtics. I think the Celtics need to make some moves. By the way, we talked a lot about the Celtics. Is there any NBA superstar that needs to take a bigger step forward? You know who I'm talking about. I mean, come on, man. The Boston Celtics, they can't. Oh, man. I feel like Jason Tatum needs to be that guy, and he's not there yet, and he needs to get there, but I think he will. They're trying to put some more pieces around him. He needs to take over that team. He needs to be legit. He melted down in that last series, and it was just like, you can't do that. That's a learning experience, right?
Well, if I put it like this, when it comes to Tatum, if earlier on in the season he had not let Kendrick Perkins, who has played for the Celtics, and other Celtic legends that have come in the past, talk to him and just tell them, kind of lending some words of encouragement, you guys can pick it up, this, that, and the third. If he didn't let that get under his skin the wrong way and took constructive criticism and worked from that, then he would understand what it's like to take over that team. I mean, at the end of the day, yeah, Jaylen Brown's going to give you his buckets. Marcus Smart's going to play pretty well until he's not playing smart, which the last name, not smart. I mean, let's be for real. But bringing in Bogdan, that's the reason why I said that's a smart move, because Bogdan's the type of player, he's going to, he can bring the ball down the court, but he knows when to pass it and when to take the right, correct shots. And so I feel like putting him in that mix, and that's going to kind of give you that extra threat now. And Jason Tatum's got to understand, if they got that extra threat, he's got to know that I'm the man that got to work off of that. So if he doesn't, that's just straight up him being just a dumb Duke player. Come on.
Yeah. No, it's I'm telling you, man, it's wild. I love all of this talk. NBA talk is so great. I mean, we haven't even gotten to John Wall agreeing to the Clippers. I mean, the Clippers are trying to do something, trying to put around some players around, what they have going out there with old man Paul George, right? Like, Paul George, he needs to get that monkey off his back, right? When it comes to like getting through the playoffs. And I mean, they don't have Rivers there coaching anymore, so I mean they can kind of like accelerate their ceiling, but it's just like I don't feel like Paul George has been the same since the injury. He hasn't. I think that injury like kind of done something to him mentally, and he's tried to battle back from it and be as strong as he could be, but I feel like that's still in the back of his mind in a way to where he's just not being the same Paul George that we know of. Cuban Benny in the chat, 224 days until Broncos win the Super Bowl. Boom! Let's go Broncos, baby! Let's go! Pete Carroll will be hate chewing the heck out of some gum for that one. Yeah, no.
Oh my God.
The way he chews gum is ridiculous. We've talked plenty about that. Broncos 1967, thank you so much for popping in. Welcome back. That is why you're my favorite. Let's ride. The Nothing more awkward than that. Let's ride by oh my goodness. My goodness. But just to put a bow on some of these NBA talks, I want to talk about my Nuggets. A starting lineup of Jamal Murray, Caldwell Pope, Michael Porter Jr. Should he play all year long? I know Cuban Benny. Don't throw it out there. I know you're mad. Aaron Gordon and Nikola Jokic. Nikola Jokic, by the way, signed that extension, making him the highest paid player in NBA history for the time being. That's just a temporary title, but he's going to be here for the long haul, which I appreciate. He's taken that Antetokounmpo style of, I want to stay in my small market and win with my team. I love my team. I appreciate that because we don't get that a lot here in Denver from local college kids that come and play here. So I don't know, man. I like our starting lineup a ton. Bruce Brown was the biggest piece I think that we picked up. Bones Highland is going to come off the bench. He's going to be absolutely insane. I think he's going to take the biggest step forward. Got DeAndre Jordan. That's a whatever. That's just to give Nikola Jokic a break here and there, and to play.
But that can hurt you though.
Little bit of defense. I mean, we had Cousins here last year, and he played offense and not defense most of the time. So DeAndre Jordan, he's going to swap that. He's going to play defense and not offense. So it might. Who knows? As long as he's not giving up buckets. STG, who else is eligible for a Supermax this offseason? Honestly, I think most of the players that I think should have signed him did sign him. You got Karl Anthony Towns.
Yeah.
You had Booker. You had Jokic. You had a couple rookie max contracts that were signed as well. So for the most part, everyone kind of stayed with their max contract deals. Which, why not get paid, right? Get that money. Right. I mean, you had and you had in Washington also. You had Bradley Beal taking his max contract and staying with Washington, which I question. He needs to go somewhere else. Sorry, there's Pierre. If you're still here, sorry, he needs to go somewhere else. Cuban, what's over the under on Zion Simmons Porter Jr. is actually going to start in the line? Do I need to use my fingers and toes? Don't do that, Cuban. Don't do it. I'm tired of you. I love you, Cuban. You know I do. Mandalorian Lions Den. I love how you trashed on Duke. My husband is a big Duke fan. That made my night hearing about Duke. Have a great night, Action Lab. Have a great night. Hey.
Anytime you want to hear more trash talk about Duke, just come my way.
Hey,
I got a lot of it.
Hey, again.
I got a lot of it.
Again, there's the link to go follow Lions Den if you want to go trash talk Duke. Hey, Mandalorian, thank you so much for popping in. Hope you have a happy 4th of July, and we can't wait to get you back here in the lab on Wednesday night. So there we have it. So we'll wrap the free agency stuff up as well. But let's touch on one real quick before we wrap it. Let's do it.
Now this one is the one that I actually really, really like. The Adam Levine and the Chicago Bulls. I really like that one because him getting that money and you still got DeMar DeRozan there, but then you bring in Drummond. That is I think that's a good combination there, and I think that's a piece that's gonna help the Bulls get to where they need to and be able to get further along, even going into the playoffs and things like that. So yeah, I like that one.
Have a great holiday, Mandalorian. Let's give a Mandalorian the J.R. Smith wave on the way out. You have the emotes if you're subscribing and all that stuff. Hey, you have the emotes. Let's wave off a Mandalorian. Have a great night. Have a great 4th of July. We can't wait to have you back. But going back to your point on the Chicago Bulls, look at their lineup, right? There you go, Cuban. Lonzo Ball, point guard. Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, Patrick Williams, a nice young rookie last year, and then all of a sudden he's started to grow to a nice young player on that team. And Vucevic. Then you got Alex Caruso, right? You got Alex Caruso, right. Derrick Jones Jr., Andre Drummond coming off the bench. I mean, that's my big thing with the Bulls was they didn't have depth. They had a great starting lineup, but they didn't have depth behind it. Right. Now they have some depth that they could put together. They're a little sleeper team, in my opinion, coming out of the East when it comes to Chicago Bulls being a competitor on that side of the conference.
It's definitely going to help them. I think that, like I said, that's going to be a real good move.
All right, guys. So there we have it. We're going to be talking a lot. There's going to be some news coming with Westbrook and all the movement. There's going to be some trades. It has to be. So we're going to touch on those here soon. But we are getting towards the bottom of the hour, and we wanted to touch on a couple fun topics before we wrapped up the night. Still here, lurking, listening. Thanks, Chairman. Hey, we haven't been talking too much trash on your Detroit teams. Broncos, I'm a huge...
Just that Westbrook is on his way there, though.
Yeah.
That's it.
I mean, I could feel it.
I can feel it all the way down in my plums.
But let's see, Chairman, Broncos. I'm a huge Duke fan. #awkward. Sorry, Broncos. As long as you're a Broncos fan, it doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter. Right. We'll take you as a Broncos fan. You're good. But want to go back to a nice little story here we're in 4th of July weekend, and there's nothing better. I don't know how many of you guys, I want to take a poll in the chat. How many of you guys tune in to the hot dog eating contest? Lions Den, I know you've seen, the hot dog eating contest on 4th of July out in Coney Island.
Joey is the man. Let's go.
He brings it, man. He brings it, and there's nothing. All right, so one of my guilty pleasures every single 4th of July is recording. I record it if I can't watch it. Otherwise, I'm watching it. Tomorrow, I'm not going anywhere. I'm staying at home. I'm smoking some wings. We're having 4th of July here at the house. And I'm going to have the hot dog eating competition on in the background. And it's been a big thing. You could bet on this. Obviously, you see in the lines on there, Joey Chestnut minus 4,000.
Wow.
Whoo, 4,000 to win it all. Obviously, he's like the absolute favorite by far. He's if you're trying to bet on somebody to win, he's your guy. He's been at it for a long time. Now look at these over-unders, Lions. We got number of hot dog eaten by Joey Chestnut. The over-under was set at 74.5 on FanDuel Sportsbook as of this afternoon.
Wow.
74.5. And just keep in mind, this is 10 minutes. You're eating 74.5 hot dogs in 10 minutes time. The women's side, 44.5. I know, all you ladies in the chat, Amanda Loring obviously left, but Ucla and Football Wife. How many hot dogs can you put back? Curious. Just throwing that out there. Let me know. But what's your history with the hot dog eating contest? What are your thoughts on these numbers?
When it comes to this, you like for me, you in a win-win situation if you putting any of your money on Joey. Like, I mean, watching him do it, it blows my mind. Like, how can you consume that many hot dogs in that amount of time? Like, it's just, and I know they talked to him about his exercises that he does and all of that stuff. And, and I'm just like, okay, but still in the amount of time that you do it. Cause like, what was the record last year? 76, right?
Yep.
All he got to do is 77. He probably gonna do like 78. He probably gonna push that. He can push 80 today, 80 tomorrow. It's gonna be crazy.
I remember last year, I was like, there was a lot of talk about, he's going to go under. It's been a while. He hasn't had a lot of competition. It's hard to get pushed when you don't have competition. And the under was a big, big number last year. And I remember I almost bet the under and I didn't get it in time. And rightfully so. Gladly I didn't, because he soared over the number by like 5 or 6 dogs. And I'm like, damn.
He's gonna do it again this year. Watch. I just have a feeling.
I'll tell you, if you smoked Nathan hot dogs the way I smoke them here tomorrow, I'll eat like 60 of them. Nah, I won't eat 60 of them. I'll probably eat like 3 or 4. But man, what a tradition though. So, tradition wise, I want to ask the chat too. What are your traditions for 4th of July? What do you like to do? Because obviously this is the most American thing you could possibly think of when it comes to like anything, right? Like when like other countries think of like fat Americans and what we drink beer and we barbecue and we have apple pie and all this stuff. But like, then you see this guy eating like this many wings, 74.5 wings. And you're like, hot dogs. I'm sorry. And you're just like, Americans, like this is the epitome, absolute epitome. It's crazy, but like that's the thing. JK, welcome in. Can't sense. So let me tell you about this, Lions. Whenever someone redeems their points and it says if you can't say something nice, that means you gotta. There's 2 levels. If you can't say something nice, don't say anything at all. If you can't say something nice is we got to say something nice about the Arizona Cardinals football team. So, what do you know about Arizona? What do you like about them? What do you not like about them? Or actually, no. What do you like about them? If I'm putting you on the spot, because it's how we do it here in the Action Lab.
You know, this is hard because I'm a 49er fan. So,
I mean, they're in your division, so it's like, what do you think about them? And I know it's hard. I got to do this about the Raiders and the Chiefs sometimes, and I'm just like, shit.
How can I say something nice about the Cardinals? DeAndre Hopkins. That's all I'm gonna say. Leave it there.
DeAndre Hopkins.
That's it.
Okay. All right. I like it. DeAndre Hopkins. He's a baller. All right. Okay.
That's all I got.
All right. I think, gotta say something nice. I think the Cardinals will have a nice little bounce back. Because I mean, they're getting healthy. And realistically, you get JJ Watt back. Obviously, he's getting older, but I mean, he's going to be effective. Kyler Murray, he needs to stop choking in the playoffs, but regular season, he's solid. James Conner, DeAndre Hopkins. I like Marquise Brown, stretches the field a little bit. I think that the Cardinals have a chance to take a step bigger if Kyler Murray can utilize Marquise Brown downfield as a stretching the field option. And if he can, I think they'll have a nice little dynamic offense that they could really take into the season and into the playoffs should they make the playoffs. But I think there's a nice little bounce back. I mean, I think Seattle's taking a step back in that division, right? You got to say that there's no way Drew Lock or anybody else playing quarterback in that team is gonna be anything viable, right? There's right. No shot in that option. But then you take a look at the Rams. The Rams are obviously coming off their Super Bowl win. They're going to be the team to beat. They've retooled a little bit here and there. Arizona, if I had to say something nice about them, I say they have a chance to finish
second. That's what I will say.
Yeah, I think second. I think second is safe. And even still, I'm being nice. So 49ers need to figure out the quarterback situation. You know a little bit more about that than I do.
Don't get me started. This ain't the show for that. No.
Oh man. Let's see.
Y'all don't want the rent right now.
I wish I could stay in chat, but I have to go get some sleep. No worries, Pierre. Hey, go get a good night. Hey, let's give Pierre all of the J.R. Smith goodbyes and have a good night there, Pierre. We miss you. We love you. Let's see. Mackie 9-8 record says, okay, there you go. Cuban Benny, Cardinal Stadium is a dome, and that is something good in the Arizona heat. There you go. Yep. Can Larry Fitz come back out of retirement? Says Mackie. He could.
I feel like Fitz could come back out of retirement and still be a viable option. I'm not even gonna lie. Like the guy really puts his body through some conditioning. Like Fitz is clutch. He's clutch.
University of Phoenix sponsorship for life is a big perk for Cardinals. There you go. Yeah, 100%. Good night, Pierre. And everyone's saying goodbye to Pierre. There you go. See, we take care of you guys when you guys head out. So, yeah, no, the hot dog eating competition, we're going to hit it big tomorrow. I might place a bet. We'll see. The women's side, by the way, 44.5. If my wife could put away 44.5 hot dogs, I don't know what my mindset would be. I don't know. That's a weird thing to think about, that a woman. Yeah, and usually they're small little ladies doing this too, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
I think the lady that done it last, the one that holds the record, very, very small. And I'm like, okay. Okay. You got my respect.
All right. So with that being said, go out, enjoy some of this. I mean, if you football wife is throwing up at this visual of Joey Chestnut eating potentially 70 plus hot dogs, 75 hot dogs, but damn, that's a lot of hot dogs. And they do the dip thing in the water, everything else. It's wild, man.
I'm glad you said that, because I'm sitting here the whole time and I'm thinking about that dip in the water. Like, I mean, y'all, listen. I'm gonna be real with y'all. Now, as a kid growing up, you know, we ate hot dogs. We didn't put them on the grill. You boiled them. And you had that hot dog water. Everybody know about the hot dog water. I know some of y'all know about the hot dog water. The hot dog water stinks on the stove when you leave it there, right?
Oh.
In the pan and all of that. So imagine them dunking these hot dogs. No, sorry. Oh. No way, bro. No. No.
It's just not the same.
Nope.
Mackie D, Andre Johnson, and Ferry Fitzgerald were both wide receivers that did it how it should be done. Yeah. No, they did it great. Cuban Benny Fitz has been working on his 2-year degree for 23 years. Doesn't it feel that way? Hasn't Fitz been working on that degree for a while? Man, he's been at the University of Phoenix for like 20 years. When I dip, you dip, we dip, says Broncos. Yeah. We all dip them dogs in them the drink, you know? That's like Scott eating pineapple pizza. Yeah. No. 100%.
What is the 5 fingers say to the face? What?
Which brings us to our last section of the night, and we want to send you guys off with a happy 4th of July here. And I built this graphic out, you know. Hey, Shopmaster, welcome in. Thank you so much for the raid. Hey, Shop, hope you had a great stream. Hope everything is going well for you. Obviously, hey, Shop, a good friend of the Action Lab. Obviously, you know him well, Lions Den. Welcome in. My name is Chris. Normally, we have Scott here, but we have Lions Den guest hosting here on the Action Lab. So welcome into all you guys. We're about to get talking about some 4th of July traditions and everything else. We got done talking about NBA, some of the college football stuff. If you guys want to throw out your sports topics, make sure you hit them in the chat so that we could talk about them. But this is your time. Hey, thank you so much, your boy, for the follow. Yes, sir. Raid time. By the way, if you're new, hit that follow button, and then where you're from and who's your team. We always like to get to know you. Let's welcome in everybody here joining the Action Lab. Let's give them a nice warm welcome for all of our normal lab rats and make sure they feel nice and welcome. There you go. Thank you, Broncos. By the way, shout out to Shotmaster. Let me do that real quick. There we go. Hope you had a great stream. All right. McDuggets, bummer. The better half is gone. No. The better half. We have the better half right now is Lions Den. I'm like definitely the weaker half of this group. 100%.
No way. You're 10 times better.
Stopping to show some love. Bronx, let's go Giants. Hey, how do you feel about your Giants this year, you boy? I like to, I mean, it's an interesting little setup you got there, but I want to know what where you think they're going to finish in the division. Let me know in the chat. Welcome in Raiders. Say that for me, Chris. No, we're not welcoming in any Raiders. AFC West is well represented in this chat, 100%. Stop with the fireworks, can't sleep. Pierre, I think you're in trouble for the next 2 or 3 days. At least.
Gotta.
Sorry, Pierre. But yes, welcome in everybody. Again, thank you for stopping by. I want to know your traditions though. What do you guys got going on for, obviously we have a lot of stereotypical, crazy, like traditional things here on the screen when it comes to, man, I got fireworks popping out. I don't know if you can hear that in the chat, but 4th of July, you got barbecue, you got football, apple pie. There's a lot of things you associate with American tradition when it comes to the 4th of July. what is your favorite memory, or what is your favorite thing that is associated with the 4th of July? First of all, Lions, I want to ask you, but everyone in the chat, what do you guys do? What is your favorite traditions? And do you barbecue? What do you barbecue? What's your favorite thing to do? Bronx, go Giants. I'm a hype man. I feel good right now. I'm going to say it's going to be a tight one. Giants are going to battle with the Cowboys and the Eagles. Eagles might be an interesting team. Cowboys are always kind of picked, but once they get to the playoffs, it's done. So you don't have to worry about them at that point. But and then make that work, of course. Okay. All right. Lions. What's your big thing with 4th of July?
So my biggest thing with 4th of July, man, is just about, and of course this is before all of this where we are now, but it's just getting together with family. Like I would like one of my best memories of 4th of July was I think I was high schooler at that point. Well, it's a number of them, but the fondest one was high schooler. Like I came from my family, again, big on sports, but also a lot of singers in my family. So we had a cookout, and it was at my parents' house, right? And we would always go on vacation, normally around this time. And we had this like humongous 4th of July celebration. And they had my cousins, like they play instruments. So we had a full band. They had a full choir. They were singing. People were there. And then like when it was done, like toward the end, of course, my uncles, they had the big pull behind smokers like you see here on the picture. They had those things. I think it was like 2 of those big old things. We had a fish going, all of that stuff. But the neighborhood street would literally be blocked off. And the street it's kind of like you have like a slight hill and then a curve that goes down onto the other end. We had the whole entire street like blocked off, and it was fireworks from one end of the street to the other. And it was so tight because the whole night, all you would see, the street was just lit up. And it was like people were coming from other neighborhoods to park just to walk up the streets to see the fireworks show. It was out of sight, out of mind.
That's incredible, man. Like I growing up, we always used to have like little 4th of July community parades and different things. And it was always a big thing. And obviously fireworks shows, even in college, working with like, some of the sports teams locally, they had fireworks shows. I used to be a part of those, kind of put those on. But, now that I'm like, a little bit older, I got kids, we do a lot of the fireworks things, and, we barbecue. It's turned into that whole like family style. Like that's how we celebrate 4th of July. And, I think that's going to be really fun for them tomorrow to be able to go out to the parade, see the fire trucks and see all the fun things, see the fireworks. Now they're doing the drone shows now. Have you seen these drone shows? Those are big now. Those are huge. Yeah. So, I mean, take away the fire. We have fire danger here in Colorado all the time. So there's always that going on. But, that's kind of a cool thing, new transition. But yeah, it's interesting. Some of you guys are throwing out your spots or your favorite things in the chat when it comes to your 4th of July traditions. JK, never do much than the 4th, just another day, but it's Monday, so I'm not working. So there's that. Nice day, relaxing. Attending local country or county parade and fireworks and stuff. So yeah, so nice. Some fun things going on there in the chat. So love to see all of those. But sleeping in, says football wife, not working, celebrating with family. Perfect. Hey, and big ups to all of the first responders and the all the folks in the military and everybody out there who like make what we do. I mean, we stream for fun, and we do this, and we have the freedom to talk sports on a live streaming platform. Like, what are we doing, Lions? Like, it's just like ridiculous. But we wouldn't have that if we didn't have all of the amazing people that work in our military and all of the all of that stuff around the world. So thank you for all your service. If you're here, appreciate all the love.
Like I always do them, man. I got them all in my family, all my uncles and all of that have served, and everybody. Every time I see them, man, salute to you guys, man. Thank y'all. Hey, you're better men and women than I am, because I don't want to get out there and do that. But hey, thank you again. Thank you.
We'll stick to our streaming, and we appreciate everything you do. Cuban Betty, sometimes I wake up late, so in order to hurry up and get out the door as fast as possible, I dip my breakfast sandwich in hash browns and water for speed. Hey, I mean, that's on 4th of July. It's the perfect way to go about your breakfast, especially if you're watching the hot dog eating contest in the background. Right now, I feel like I live in a war zone. The fire bombs are with the fireworks. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, I mean,
still hear them out our window too. So,
oof, it's wild out here. At least I don't know if you guys can hear it through my microphone, but so I'm gonna be out there smoking some wings. We'll be doing some fun things when it comes to like. I love 4th of July just being outside grilling. Like, there's something nostalgic about, like, for me, my 4th of July always revolves around barbecues and people, close friends, family around. So we're going to be doing that tomorrow. Got my parents coming down, hanging out with us. Maybe some other friends might be popping through, and we're going to be smoking some wings. We're going to be getting some good things going on the grill. We got a whole day full of festivities. It's gonna be a nice sunny day out here in Colorado because it's gonna be always sunny out here. But yeah, it'll be a good time. We got some fireworks shows going on later on, so that's how we'll be celebrating. It'll be a good time. Let's see. Broncos, happy 1 week anniversary for the Stanley Cup champion Avs. Let's go. Avalanche, baby. Let's go. We just finished the parade this past week. I mean, on to the next one. Back to back, baby. Let's go. Actually, I got my, if I was placing futures bets, I might place them on the Rangers. I like the Rangers a little bit for the odds perspective.
Oh,
just throwing that little tidbit out there, a little betting nugget. Little betting nugget. Just threw up in my mouth a little bit. By the way, Chairman, as a Detroit Red Wings fan, you just gotta swallow your pride here. You just gotta swallow your pride. I'm sorry your Detroit boys aren't as relevant as they used to be, but they're I don't know, they'll be around a little bit, maybe moving forward. Cuban Benny, why is it 5th of July, a business no work holiday? Everyone is up late, just like New Year's Day. True, it's true.
Yes, that's true. That's true.
Can make that happen too. But
true.
All right. If I were to say the first thing that comes to your mind when it comes to 4th of July, Lions, what was the first thing that comes to your mind?
Fireworks. Hands down.
I think mine's barbecue. Mine's definitely got to be barbecue. Just like always. It's always a staple. But when I throw that out, chat, what's the first thing that comes to your mind when it comes to 4th of July? Throw it in the chat. I'd like to see what you guys think.
Somebody gonna be like, no sleep.
But we've kind of gone a little bit over. I know we said we would be done at the bottom of the hour, but we've been having a lot of fun. So we are here at the end of our stream here, guys. We gotta get. I mean, Lions on the East Coast, so we gotta get him some rest before his holiday here. But we want to give you guys some love as well before you guys go. It has been a fun stream, and obviously Scotty, he's out water skiing or whatever. No, he can't water ski. Don't get your hopes up on that. He's out there just enjoying time on the lake, doing his thing. But we are lucky enough to have Lions Den here joining us again. I'm going to post the link in the chat. If you are not following Lions Den, give him some love. And make sure you go give him a follow if you have not already, because he has a lot of great sports content. He's not going to be a stranger to this show. He's going to be on here more and more here as we continue to move on. And we can't wait to have him back. So thank you, Lions, for popping on, being here, and being a part of the Action Lab, man. This has been great.
Hey. I hope you guys are having me back, man. This was fun. I had a lot of fun talking to you guys and, getting to meet all you guys and just being a part of the Lab Rats, man. That's a great vibe.
Hey, Lab Rats. Hey, they're very accepting and everything. So, hey, again, go give him some love if you have not already. Let's see. Good night, everyone. Great to see you, Lions Den. enjoy the 4th. It says football wife. There you go.
Thank
there you go.
Thank you.
D. Cole, thanks for Lions Den. Very entertaining. Boom. See, you're already making it up. All right, so here's what I'm going to do. We have one other person streaming right now that we want to send you over to. Her name is G Girl. Some of you guys know G Girl.
Yeah.
G Girl, she brings it. She's done a lot of great sports content. JK, thank you so much. Cuban Benny, Lions Den, great to see you in here. Yeah, absolutely. See, you're making moves. You might actually have to dethrone Scotty here. Who knows?
Yeah, hey, again, Scott, I'm sorry, bro. My hands are off, but hey, if the people want me, they got me. I gotta be the head person in charge, man. That's it.
I'm telling you. Let's see. I'm gonna get G Girl all queued up here. She's doing so G Girl most recently has started to do this sponsored Rise of Kingdom stuff. She normally does a lot of sports content, but she's doing a little bit of this gameplay. I mean, if you're into some of the online games and everything, she's great, but she's going to be bringing it hard with all the sports content coming up when it comes to NFL season. She was covering NBA. She was doing a lot of those good things. So make sure you go give her some love. If video games aren't your thing, no big deal. Just give her a follow and just wait till the NFL season starts, and she's going to be bringing that heat as well. So she's fantastic. Don't sleep on it. So G Girl Gaming. Let me make sure I got her tag right.
I think McDougas in the chat is asking if you and Scott are going to be in the Lions Den too, and of course they will be. Of course they will be.
Man, I would love to be in the Lions Den. By the way, again, Lions, let people know when you stream, when you have things going on, or what your specialty is, or what all that good stuff.
Oh, so I mean, normally, like right now, I'm gonna be real. The summer months, being that I'm a father and I got kiddos at home doing school, stream schedule's a little floppy, right? It's a little floppy. But if you follow me up on Twitter, man, you know when I'm gonna be live. I kind of try to update things there. I know going into this week, we'll be in around the morning hours. So we're looking at around about a 10 a.m., 11:30 start time in the mornings, go to probably like 3 o'clock. And then we do our sports talk with Lion once a week right now. Once a week, we try to get sports talk with Lion going, and we touch on some of the hottest sports topics. And again, if it's on there, we talk about it. We try not to get too political or too, sad with stories and things, but I like to just be upfront and real with people when it comes to sports talk. So again, make sure you guys lock in. Come over there and see us. Come and be a part of the conversations and the vibes. I mean, the banner, again, football season's right around the corner. We get heavy when it starts football season. Like I'm talking about college football, sports talk. You got SC, Big Ten going at it in the chat, and I'm in the middle of it, moderating the whole thing, keeping it going. So hey, come and have fun, man. Come and join us.
Let's go. All right. Boom. So with that being said, we're gonna call it a night. Hope you have a fantastic night. Oh, by the way,
McNuggets, you're not gonna get me started on the rant, McNuggets. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it.
Hope Jimmy's in your prayers tonight there.
I'm not gonna do it. McNuggets has seen the Jimmy G rant. So if you guys ever there when we do sports talk with Lion, they always ask me to do the Jimmy G rant, and I go full in on it. I'm telling you, it's real funny.
I can't wait, man. I can't wait to collaborate a little bit more with you. We'll get it going, man. I can't tell you how excited I am for this new situation we got going on. So
yeah, man, 100%.
But you guys, hey, go be good to people. Go be good to people out there in the world. Have a great 4th of July, and also live in the moment, right? I tell you this at the end of each stream. Live in the moment. We talked a lot about the Michelob guy, right? Michelob guy that was watching Tiger Woods and blowing up because he had the whole background of everybody with phones up and everything else. Just go live in the moment. Put the phone down. Enjoy the people around you. Enjoy your company. Enjoy your kids. Enjoy your friends. And just live in the moment.
Listen, Chris, I know this is not my space. This is not my stream, but I got to do it. Man.
Lay it on me.
Because I like the vibe here. And I like the vibe of your chat and the people that's there. But listen, guys, every time we're about to end up or what we're about to do, I always tell people, be dope, good people. Being a good person goes a long way. I know it, I live it. I'm a true testament that just making someone smile, giving somebody a simple hello can lift their day. You never know whose life you can change just by saying a simple hello or just giving them a smile. So be that person, man. Be that person, y'all.
Boom. Let's go. I'm telling you, the good vibes. Let's keep them flowing into the holiday, man. Let's go. Let's get it. Durant, thank you. Amen. Have a great vacay, Lions Den. Your kids will be stoked.
Oh,
great show. Have fun.
What
Have a
the
safe
five
holiday.
Fingers, say to the face. What? Slap.
Pierre, Chris, tell Scotty I'm coming for him. He already knows, man. He's got your picture up all over Coors Field, man, and don't worry about it. Have a good night, guys. We're going to go raid G-Girl. Hope you have a fantastic holiday. Enjoy it. We will be back here live Wednesday night. Don't miss out, and we will see you here after the holiday. So a lot of stuff to talk about. We will catch you on Wednesday. Love you guys.